Welcome back to Walkabouter's Guide. Here we are where Arthur Mee went to school as a young lad, not as an old lad. He was a great writer. And over there is the Stapleford Care Centre, but it's not as exciting. The Children's Encyclopedia by Arthur Mee. To boys and girls everywhere. It is a big book for little people, and it has come into the world to make your life happy and wise and good. That is what we are meant to be. That is what we will help each other to be. Your affectionate friend, Arthur Mee. And there he is there. Should have turned towards the camera. Did anyone take selfie paintings back in the day? Let's find that out and other things in this book. The world in the Jurassic Age. Iguanodon on his hind legs. Why do we fear a beetle when we know it cannot harm us? This is one of the most interesting of questions, because the answer to it takes us into the depths of our minds. When are they going to get to the beetles? Is there a British lady mentioned in the Bible? Yes, there was a British lady in Rome in the days of Paul, and we are almost certain that she would go to visit Paul in his prison cell and comfort him. We read of her in Arthur Mee's book, Little Treasure Island, where we are told that we may stand today in Rome in the house this British lady lived in. What a tourist destination that must be. What a pilgrimage to visit the house of a British lady. Bored yet? How to make a seesaw. A seesaw is one of the simplest things to make, and a great deal of amusement can be obtained from it in the garden, not only by boys and girls, but by grown-ups too. The German Empire ends its career at Versailles. The Kaiser, who during the war had shown himself to be only a toy king, playing at soldiers, ran away and hid himself in Holland, leaving Germany to deal with her troubles as best she might. What a douchebag. The Game of Stickerchief, a splendid game that can be played by any number of children, is Stickerchief. It is quite as exciting as hockey or lawn tennis. And it has the advantage of not requiring expensive balls, rackets or sticks. Stickerchief is played with a handkerchief and some short pieces of cane, of the sort used by gardeners to hold up tall flowers, or old cane walking sticks. The game can be played on a firm sandy beach, or on a lawn of any size. Make 2 goals, one at each end of the lawn, formed by flower sticks stuck into the grass. Now they must place a handkerchief on the ground and stand on opposite sides of it, with the ends of the sticks just touching the ground, about a foot away from the handkerchief. Then one player must count 1, 2, 3, go, and at the word go, both must try to pick up the handkerchief on the sticks. This is much more difficult than it looks, and sounds apparently. Each player tries to knock his opponent's stick away. Oh boy. Presently one manages to pick up the handkerchief and then runs as fast as he can towards the opponent's goal. Of course, the other player follows and tries to get the handkerchief off the stick. If he manages to get it on to his own stick, he rushes with it to the other goal. Oh. In a few minutes, both players become tremendously excited. I doubt that, for often they get within a few feet of the goal before they drop the handkerchief. Then they have a fine struggle for it. Sometimes the handkerchief flies off the stick while the player is running with it, and then the other player can often catch it before it reaches the ground. Yeah, no one's ever going to play that. Virginia Dare, the first white child born in the British Empire overseas, sharing the life of the Red Indians of Virginia, but apparently just sitting there and not sharing the work. Where does all the bad air go? The answer to this question can teach us a great lesson about the meaning of words such as good and bad. It is probably wisest and most reverent for us to believe that, in the long run and in their right places, all things are good. That, at any rate, is certainly very true of what we call bad air. By bad air, we usually mean carbon dioxide, which has come from our lungs, or from a fire, or a lamp, or from the breathing animals. I'm sensing some climate change denial here. Pictures of Germany. Looks like Disneyland. That's odd. Jesus and the great people of his time. Jesus, Claudius, Caligula. Great people. The face of Germany. No nation which has taken the sword to conquer her neighbours has brought greater disasters upon herself than has Germany. As we write, her cities lie in ruins. Her activities are but slowly emerging out of chaos. But the German people, having at last completely learnt that armed aggression does not pay... Germany lies in ruins? I'm starting to think these encyclopedias aren't up to date. I wonder if this is worth anything. I know there's a picture of Muhammad in here somewhere that caused controversy and riots and murders. I don't think I'll be showing that page to you good people. We're all the same. Let's not alienate peoples of the world in this children's encyclopedia, please. Why do we grow old? We? This is a most difficult question which some of the wisest men find difficult to answer. The chief reason seems to be that gradually there is heaped up in our bodies a certain amount of waste products of our lives. We get rid of most of these quite easily, especially the gaseous ones like carbon dioxide, but there are others which we do not completely get rid of, and at last they poison us, make our limbs and joints stiff, our hair fall out, or even turn grey. Oh no, our skin shrivel, and so on. This process takes much longer in some people than in others. It is strictly true to say that some people are older at 40 than others are at 70. This teaches us that it is not the mere passage of time that makes us old, but what is happening during that time in our bodies. People who lead wise lives, especially people who do not eat too much or drink too much, and who get enough sleep, during which the body gets rid of and destroys many of the poisons it produces in the daytime, do not grow old nearly so quickly as other people. Also, this is true of people who have quiet minds. I have a quiet mind reading this encyclopedia. The lawyer and the oyster. As two men were walking by the seashore, they found an oyster and began to quarrel about it. I saw it first, said one man, so it belongs to me. I picked it up, said the other, and I have a right to keep it. As they were quarrelling, a lawyer came by, and they asked him to decide for them in the matter. The lawyer agreed to do so, but before he would give his opinion, he required that the two men should give him their assurance that, whatever he might say, they would be quite satisfied with his decision. Then the lawyer said, "It seems to me that you both have a claim to the oyster. So I will divide it between you, and you will then be perfectly satisfied." Opening the oyster, he quickly ate it, and, very gravely, handed to each of the men one of the empty shells. "But you have eaten the oyster," cried the man. "Ah, that was my fee for deciding the case," said the lawyer. "But I have divided all that remains in a perfectly fair and just manner. That is what generally happens when two quarrelsome persons go to law about something they cannot agree upon. Yeah, screw lawyers." Oh, something to play on the piano. This'll be fun. Dr. Forces was a good man. He whipped his schoolers. Oh, here we go. Australia's 7 years under Hitler.
and her liberation by the Allies. The Nazis in Australia were encouraged in every possible way and were held up to all Europe as martyrs to a tyranny. Finally, in March 1938, Hitler invaded Australia with large forces. Crikey. Deposed Chancellor Schwarzenegger and his government and decreed that Australia should become part of the German Reich. Struth. He proceeded to make Australia a spearhead of his attack southeastward. Remind you of anything modern day happening, Mr. Putin? As a result of the Second World War, the Allies liberated Australia and a government was set up in Vienna
as that of an independent state? I don't think that's how it happened. See Walkabouter's Guide, Episode 1, for more information of the origins of Australia. I'm sorry, that Episode 40 will be much better. Tune in for that.
Walkabouter's Guide to Australia.
It is grim but funny.